Glad you all, my colleagues of sister institutions, respected principals, and my dear students. A very good afternoon to everybody. This is T. Jagannatham, PGT Social Studies, now working in APSWRS Center of Excellence, Madhurwada of Visakhapatnam. Today, I am given this platform to share my views and my experiences in teaching social studies and make ourselves ready for the current academic year in planning, execution, and evaluation. So, this is nothing but a tune-up program for the current academic year. In this session, I would like to talk to you on two issues in teaching social studies. One is the scope of social studies, and the second one, we will find out the answers for three questions that will show you in the slide next. The first one, we will know what is the scope of social studies. We all know the social studies is so dynamic in nature because the social studies deals with man and his environment, which is ever changing. And the second point is the social studies is so wide. There is no different boundaries or distinctive boundaries. The content is so wide. That is why generally the teachers of social studies struggle to complete the syllabus in time. That we have to agree. So, to complete the syllabus in time is a Herculean task. Now, we have to seek answers. We have to find answers for the three questions. That is all about this session. Now, look at the slide. Why to teach social studies? And what to teach social studies? And how to teach social studies? In accordance with National Curriculum Framework of 2005 and Andhra Pradesh State Curriculum Framework of 2011 and RTA Act of Right to Education Act of 2009. So now we will find out the answer to what to teach and why to teach and how to teach. The first one I will deal with why to teach. That is, what are the objectives of teaching social studies? What is the prime purpose of teaching social studies? You all know the very purpose, the core purpose of teaching social studies is the development of democratic citizenship. The development of democratic citizenship. It means to make the student, to make the future citizen a respectable citizen, a responsible citizen, a democratic citizen. And again, we have to prepare the student to adjust himself with his family, his community or society, state, nation, and the world. So, this is the prime object of teaching social studies and is also the prime objectives of the education itself. That is the wonder. And next, the second question, what to teach? There is a new curriculum and new textbook. The curriculum is a broader one. The textbook is a part of the curriculum. So, according to the new curriculum and the new textbook, there is a lot of changes took place. So, as a teachers, we have abreast with all these two developments. The first, new curriculum and new textbook. So, when we talk about new textbook, what is the features of the what were the features of the old textbook and what were the features of the new textbook? So, how the new textbook is having what are the best features? What are the silent features? So, let us look at the silent features of the old textbook. The old textbook or the old curriculum, you can say, loaded with content and did not provide enough opportunity to the teacher or the learner to construct knowledge on their own and give less scope for critical thinking and understanding the world. That means the old curriculum focused mainly on transfer of information rather than construction of knowledge. In the old curriculum or the old textbook, there is the least scope for the student to participate in the learning process, whereas the new textbook is more advanced and it has many salient features that every student should have for his future society. What are the salient features of new textbook? Here are. The first one, connecting knowledge to life outside the world, to live outside the world, means the school should prepare him to the school outside to be a successful citizen in outside the society, in outside the school. And the second one, keeping away from rote memory, means discouraging of rote memory or rote methods. The third one is connecting real life experiences. That means the present textbook or the present lessons or the syllabus are mostly for his immediate needs as a citizen. So then the learning is also meaningful. And there is a lot of scope for the student and the teacher, the teacher and the students to discuss. And there is a freedom for the child to question. And there are many activities and projects that will help him to construct the knowledge and help him to learn. So it is mostly promote in activity based learning by doing. And some other good features in this new textbook are limited information, but we have to answer many more questions. The student has to answer, and the teacher has to assist in answering many more questions. And there are multicolored pictures and graphics, case studies, do you know, puzzles, inquiries, multiple activities, outside activities, and scope for learner values included. And there is also another item, that is detailed academic standards. How far the student understand the lesson, how far the student understood the lesson, we can know with the 6 standards that are introduced in the present textbook. These are the 6 standards we all know because it's also printed in the very first pages of the textbook. I need not give any details in this regard. Next, the third question, that is how to teach. This is where our job as a teacher begins. How good or how advanced, how meaningful the curriculum or the subject is of no value unless the teacher is able to transact all these things with all his competencies. So the teacher should have the 3 competencies. One is content competence, and the second one, competence in transmitting the content, the competence in transacting the lesson, the competence in the use of instructional strategies. That means pedagogy, what we call it, that means different teaching methods. And the third one, the third competence, the social studies teacher should have, including the competence in evaluating instruction. So now we will find out what are the competencies in content competence. The content competence, we suppose that every social studies teacher have this content competence because the content or the information is available everywhere. This is a digital age. This is a internet age. The information is everywhere. This is information boom. So we presume that every social studies teacher have this competence. But one more thing he has, not only the content competence, he should be updated himself. He should abreast with the contemporary issues and current affairs. So we encourage all the teachers and including students to read the newspapers and magazines and periodicals regularly, to have an understanding, international understanding, from the local to the international understanding. So what is the need of all these upgradation, all these current affairs, knowledge of current affairs and contemporary issues? Here is a question. It is a question in class 10th. On the lesson, the world between wars. So I will read you the question. Please listen to. Write a short notes on the various causes of the two world wars. The question is not complete. And here the real question begins, where it demands the understanding, international understanding of the student and the teacher. Do you think any of these features are prevalent even today in the countries around the world? Generally, we the teachers try to skip over by simply saying that, my dear students, there is no such features are prevalent even today in the countries around the world. But we are asking the student to read the newspapers regularly. So then one student will rise up and ask a question. Sir, what about ISIS? And another student will get up and say, sir, there are the tensions between Russia and Ukraine. These tensions may escalate into a war in any time, in any future, near future. Then the teacher, because the teacher should upgrade himself, should have contemporary knowledge, and at the same time he should have international understanding, then he can supplement the answers. And at the same time, some student will ask about, sir, the nuclear weapons pileup is there. So there is also in the present world, there is a mad race of arms. So anyhow, another student may question us, sir, what about our dragon neighbor or our another neighbor? So we cannot escape, the teacher cannot escape by simply saying that a few words about that answer. So he has to substantiate the answer only if he has the competence of contemporary issues and current affairs. So from local knowledge, local understanding to the international understanding is a must to a teacher of social studies. So in this competence, content competence, you should have. And one more thing, the textbook is not out and out. Suppose a student of 10th class asked the question about ISIS. Before there is a 9th class. There is a 23rd lesson in the 9th class about disaster management. Human induced disasters, there is a subtopic. And another subtopic is there, that is the threat of terrorism. So in the threat of terrorism, this ISIS, now we call it ISIL, because its presence is not limited to Middle East or West Asia. Now its presence is felt even in North Africa and some other areas. And India too is most vulnerable. So many of Indians, why we are taking it as a subject here, that so many of Indians are leaving our source, even software engineers too, to join ISIS because of they are lured by the propaganda tactics of ISIS. So we have to aware the students, we have to sensitize the students about the dangers involved, and it is also a threat. It is also we have to inform the students prior. It is also a threat to the global peace. So the content competence is much more than mere having the knowledge. The second issue, the second competence, the competence in transmitting the content, The competence in the transaction of lesson, including the competence in the use of variety of instructional strategies, in the use of different methods of teaching. This competence a teacher should have. What is in this? I particularly deal with the methods of teaching social studies. This is also called. It is also the part of the pedagogy, the art of teaching or science of teaching. So, what are the different methods of teaching? So, what is the use of methods in teaching? Methods are the means to reach the predetermined goals. Methods are middle link. Methods are important link in the teaching learning chain. So, the methods determine the outcome, the quality of the outcome. The methods determine the quality of results. So, methods are pedagogy has its own place. So, the social studies teacher should be conversant with and should have this capacity, should be conversant with the different methods, the theory and practice of different methods of teaching. So, you should be conversant with different teaching methods, both theory and practice. And it has to use judiciously all these methods according to the level of the students and the content. You should use these methods with different combinations and permutations. Then only the lesson is lively and the learning is meaningful. So, in the present CC model, the competence of the teacher in using different methods, teaching methods or instruction strategies play a vital role. There are many methods. I will lead out: project method, observation method, storytelling method, assignment method, question and answer method or conversational method, discussion method, lecture method, problem solving method, demonstration method. In the discussion method also, there are some other items are there, group discussion, debates, symposium, seminars. So, there is a lot of simulation method, recitation method. These are all the methods we have to use judiciously according to the level of the students and the content. Then only we can make the class more lively. Then the third competence equally every teacher should have is the competence in evaluating instruction. There are the different tools in assessing the outcome. From generally we use in our classroom slip tests, oral tests to 4 formative tests and 3 summative tests. So, because of time constraints, I am not able to focus on these tools. But one thing I want to say about, because the many examination reforms are on the anvil in the pipeline. Why? One thing I can say with the definiteness that the academic year is dominated by the examinations. The preparing we have to we have to give the student to some certain time to prepare, and we have to conduct the examinations, and after that we have to value, and after that we have to evaluate. There is a question wise analysis and all these things. So, even today, after many reforms, the examinations are dominating the academic activities. So, that should go. And at the same time, the very importance of the present curriculum is to free the student from the fears, from the fevers of examination. So, examinations is part of the system, but overemphasis on examinations is not healthy. So, the learning activity will be reduced because majority part of our hours or our energies are diverted or channelized towards it. Of course, if we follow all the tenets of these capacities, generally we will expect the good results. the good results will obviously follow if you are able to transact the lesson methodically according to CCE. So, examinations, we have to rethink about it. We have to invite the any reforms that are on the way, and there is a targets both on the teacher and the students. The target sometimes becoming a spoiled sport. The target should go for a meaningful rate. This is only my views. So, these are all the new emphasis on the it is all the part of the present curriculum and present thought process of the educationalists. Next, the last one is the classroom and the think room. How the classroom should be? The classroom should be a think room. The social studies classroom should be a research laboratory for social studies. And at the same time, we are encouraging students' participation in these group activities. So, there is a collaborative learning or participative learning is there. When you are engaging the students in the group activities, then there is a possibility for noise. Disciplinarianism is not advised now. So, a planned noise or purposeful noise or productive noise we have to invite. Don't ask the students always keep quiet or shut up or something like this. They will know, they will learn nothing. They all the time keep quiet, they can't express. So, a judicious use of judicious noise or planned noise we can allow. So, because they will exchange their views and share their experiences, and then they will complete the projects or activities. And also we have to bulletin all the works on the walls of the classroom. Then the student will feel proud of. And one more item is there, resources. There are many resources nowadays available to the student. Reference books, teacher modules, charts, maps, globes, and many are there. But for the last 10 years, I mostly rely on PPTs and videos. My view, to bring the technology to the classroom, that is my interest. I have prepared many PPTs. I downloaded some and tailored some of the PPTs to the requirements of the classroom. And I downloaded many videos and I collected many videos. What for all this? I will give you one example. There is a lesson in class 9th, the second lesson, the natural limbs of the earth. In that there is a subtopic, the plate movements, seas floor spreading, and the drama at the margins. So, how capabilities I have in narrating the things, I will not give the real experiences. So, then we have to download and we have to project the videos. The videos will substitute the teacher sometimes and will aid the teacher sometimes. So, many of the ZP teachers are also doing this work. Some of the there is some websites are there. They are only focusing on social studies with the state syllabus. And the last is the programs to be conducted. So, these are the programs that the social studies teacher has to take up. Generally, we take up weekly basis or yearly basis or monthly basis quiz programs, youth parliamentary model assemblies, meet the press, seminars, conduction of workshops, and preparation of different charts and tables and maps and posters. These are all is the part of the learning, present learning. The present learning mainly focuses on meaningful learning, and the present learning is child-centered. The present learning should be to encourage the child to acquire all the skills. So, I will say a few words, some more few words before I'm going to conclude. That means the skill development should be the focus word of the present education, skill development. The classroom or the schools lay foundation for the skill development or Skill India. The Skill India is possible. That foundation for the Skill India should be in the classroom, should begin in the classroom. So, to make in India a reality, Skill India should be there. One more thing I want to add, that is that we all know India is the youngest nation because we have a lot of young people. But we have another dubious distinction that India is the country having many a number of unemployed. Why? So, in that view, we have to prepare the child. We have to prepare the child and child to prepare himself for his near future. Skill development and laying foundation for that in the classroom, in the school level itself, it should be the main focus of the social studies teacher and all the teachers. Thank you, my friends. Thank you.